Hey guys, and welcome to a brand new episode of my channel. This episode, we're going to be doing a combat-based video. Now, it is a money-making video, and it is related to a Slayer task, but it is a nice combat video for us to be doing. So, in this video, we're going to be doing a certain Slayer task, like I mentioned, and we're going to be killing Abyssal Lords. Now, Abyssal Lords are now the new highest tier of Abyssal Demons, and they are available at 115 Slayer. Now, Abyssal Lords are a massive Slayer task, they're fantastic XP, and they're also very high GP per hour. They have two big drops, the Jaws of the Abyss and the Scrooge of the Abyss, which is still pretty decent in terms of price nowadays, and will be profit as well. But also their normal drops are pretty good and will make a decent amount of profit. I've got them on bank, which I'll check. So if I just put the mask on, I can go to Lanika, need an assignment, and this is where having the Abyssal Demon mask is beneficial because you can actually force this task. You can do this task every day, and when the Victor Trader comes back, I believe he sells the Slayer masks, and I would definitely suggest doing it. I am going to be doing a little bit of a short series going over the Slayer mask and which ones to do, and which ones are definitely beneficial to go and buy if Victor Trader does decide to return, and if you're able to buy it. So it's set up for Abyssal Demons there, so I'm just going to go to the bank because I forgot an item, but also I can check the Scrooge of the Abyss in the bank there, so if I have a quick look. Now, because it's generic Abyssal Demons as well, you can also kill the same higher tier Abyssal Demons, but also in that dungeon. I'll sort of go through them as we go by and just sort of highlight which one's there. You can use the same sort of methods I'm using for the higher tier Abyssal Demons for the low ones. It's just pretty much maybe some slight adjustments for the info, but it should seem to work. So there you go. The Abyssal Scourge is 210 mil, which would be a very nice drop if we do pick that up on a Slayer task. So one item you're going to need for a teleport is the Celestine Ring, which is the Enriched Prophet Shadow Ring. There it is. So we're going to want to teleport to Celestine. And again, in terms of your bigger Abyssal Demons, there is a dungeon with quite a few different tiers. They will all be over sort of the 85 threshold of normal Abyssal Demons, but they're all definitely worth doing. They are better XP and better loot as well. Although you can never beat a normal Abyssal Demon task in your play your own dungeon for a nice chill AFK. Right, so we need to now go north. So basically where you go for Zuck. Right past Big Bandos Man, and we're going to go to the right here. So to get to the Abyssal Lords, you're in Celestine, which is by far one of the best updates and area sort of graphics wise in the game in a minute. To get there, you need to go to the Asylum elevator, go down, and this is where you're going to get to the different forms of Abyssal monsters. So your entry level is the Savage, then it's the Beast, then it's the Lord. Now, if you've done the comp requirement like I have, you do get to loot from the Lords for a key to go through the Asylum gate. It basically gives you a shortcut to get to the Abyssal Lords. So if we go through there and just go down this road, you'll get to the Abyssal Lords. So in terms of armor and choices, I've gone for the Blood Reaver Familiar because we're going to do some poison and hopefully gain some HP through poison damage. In terms of the rest setup is Crypt Bloom to help with Animate Dead, Ring of Death and Essence of Finality for the souls and the Reaper benefits, Book of Wen for the extra damage. I'm going to change my aura to a Vampirism. Really kind of do need that healing, and that's what you need to prioritize. You could use a penance powder as well. That is definitely an option. Pray, soul split, and your mage prayer. Go underneath the cannon. Let's overload, wet poison, and get started. Now, Abyssal Lords are different, and it's the same with the other monsters as well. An Abyssal Lord will count for 5 Abyssal Demons for every kill. So a task of 250 Abyssal Demons is actually only 50 Abyssal Lords. Make sure you do your animation dead as well, or as you can just see there, you'll get absolutely slammed. And then yeah, you pretty much get going. As you can see with this, in terms of this task, you need to definitely prioritize your healing abilities. The healing abilities mean you can do it and stick around as well for enough of the task. Make sure to keep an eye on your prayer points, and also make sure as well, if you can afford to bring penance powder, I think overall it is worth using here because of the profit you will make. And make sure to pick up your drops as well. So one thing I do, I go to the first drop I get, and it unlocks the ability to area loot. And then after that, you can pretty much area loot for the whole task pretty easily. But as you can see, now we're pretty much set up and we're nice and settled in. No real dramas of DPS or issues. All you need to do is keep an eye on that prayer. And for that sake, I would consider penance powder 100%. So per kill, an Abyssal Lord is 8.2k Slayer XP, which as you can imagine is absolutely like outrageous. It is so much Slayer XP, and it's why sort of Slayer has massively ramped up in its XP per hour. It's definitely a good task. It'll be a very quick task for points as well. And in terms of the ability to use your Slayer mask, always use these and always do this as well. In terms of the drop table is sort of pretty normalish. You've got coins, pure essence, mud rune, soul runes, all the herbs, which is why I brought the herb bag, even though they're noted, and there are some which are unnoted as well. You'll get herbs as well. They are all noted as well, so you don't need to worry about picking them up. Pure essence as well are a decent price, so they will definitely add up throughout the task. Wines and Zami's nice. You'll get huge rune plated salvage and spiky small orichalcum salvage. And as well, one of the better drops is the Hydrix bolt tips. So drops which are basically like related to this monster. You're going to get the Abyssal flesh. Now that can be tipped onto the armor spikes. So it's got a decent price to it. I think the price per Abyssal flesh at the minute is 7.2k. And that's basically what's going to cover the majority of your costs for this, as well as your herb drops. And then hopefully through the long term of the boss drops, you'll get the Abyssal Scrooge. That's 1 in 10k, which is why it's 210 mil and quite expensive. And the Jaw of the Abyss is from the lower tier monsters as well. But in terms of like doing this task as like a regular task, you are looking between 8 and 10 mil per hour profit, just because of how good it is, as well as an absolute shitload of Slayer XP as well. And this is why I prioritize getting HP over prayer. It can be pretty much an AFK task. Now, if you have the Blessed Flask, it would be an AFK task because that auto like loots or auto drinks your prayer potions, but it's nothing too major, and you're going to be racking a decent set of XP. But like I said before, 5 Abyssal Demons equals 1 Abyssal Lord. And for me, this task of 250 was going to relate to 50 Abyssal Lords, which is actually going to be 400k XP for what would probably take me half hour, if that as well. So in terms of the Slayer mask, Abyssal Demons, hugely recommend because it's so good. Not even just this, the normal level 85 Abyssal Demons are massive. Very good for training your invention items as well. But this is probably one of the best Slayer XP tasks on the game. It's very chilled, decent profit as well. And yeah, would recommend. Very good for the mage XP as well, which is doing me no end of favours because I'm getting very close to 200 mil. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed. If you are enjoying and you do like these sort of Slayer guides or these Slayer videos I do, I'm going to be slaying a lot anyway because I need to get towards 200 mil mage. So if you do like it, please make sure to leave comments, subscribe to the channel as well, and leave comments say you'd like to see more of this so I can make sure to try and like find the best Slayer monsters, put some form of a guide together and get it out as soon as possible for you guys to see as well. One other note as well, if you are looking for things like Trisk fragments as well, these monsters drop them. They drop the sort of rare drop table quite often as well, so you do have access to getting Trisk keys quite a few times during the task as well. But I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have, please leave me a like and I'll see you guys very soon on the next video.